Hi everybody, I'm Jack Jinseki, and joining me today is Trash Mouse.
Hey, what up? It's me, the trash boy.
So anyway, Trash or T Mouse. I'll
No,
call.
trash.
Let's
Trash.
go with Trash.
It's trash. It's trash. I go by trash on everything.
Cool.
It makes
So
everyone uncomfortable, and I love it.
what kind of content do you like to make?
So it's varied quite a bit because I
Yeah.
do IRL content as well. So I'm really into like the paranormal and stuff like that. So I have main content as that. But
Hmm.
VTubing is supposed to be my main content, but became my side content. It's mostly gaming, chatting, more just hanging out with people, and every once in a while I'll get really into playing Zenless Zone Zero, and I'll play that for like two
Nice.
months straight. But you know,
Are
I
are
gotta
you
move my ass.
are you one of the card opening addict types?
I am not, surprisingly. I've lived my entire life being broke, and now that I have a little bit of money, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't get addicted to gambling. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, I just play the lottery every week. That's the closest I get to gambling.
Yeah. Oh boy. So
Still waiting on that win.
you said you're into the paranormal. What kind of stuff do you like to talk about?
So I've been researching the paranormal since I was about 9 years old when I had a really creepy encounter. So I wanted to figure out what that thing was. Spoiler alert, it's been 20 years and I still don't know. But I've researched everything from cryptozoology to demonology to theology, local folklores, foreign folklores, various mythologies and stuff like that, like whether it be Greek, Norse, Japanese, even like the Slavic folklore and stuff like that. And I just got really addicted to it all. I'm convinced Bigfoot is real. So, you know, I've just gotten into everything. So it's more of like I ended up making my own practice at one point because I didn't believe that any religion perfectly suited me, but I liked things from different ones, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. And then different forms of witchcraft, they have like, you know, I like to look at stuff from a scientific method,
Mm-hmm.
and I see it as like, okay, what is the common denominators between all these different cultures that have never interacted? So like silver, for example, very important, you know. So it's stuff like that. So I ended up just making my own thing.
Uh, Remind me after the interview. I gotta tell you about. There was one other person that I interviewed at one point who was really into cryptid stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm convinced that Bigfoot and like the Mothman and like the Lizard Man of Skateboard Swamp and like the Dog Man and all that are actually all the same thing, but they're just different versions of essentially a skinwalker without using the way that people say skinwalker.
Ah.
I could say that I'm part native. All right. I know a little bit, guys.
Oh boy. So
Yeah.
let's cut to the chase. Why the name Trash Mouse?
Okay. So it's honestly one of the dumbest reasons that you'll ever hear. I was part of Overwatch's closed beta back in the day,
Hmm.
and I went by my old username that I don't want to say because too many people will find it and be like, that's a squeaker, and that is not good, right? There's a few people that know about it, but I had recently changed my username to Iron Sparrow, and I had it as that for a total of 7 hours, I think. I want to say 7 hours. And I was playing, and I changed my username to Iron Sparrow on Battle.net, and I started playing as Junkrat. And this one person, and this is the closed beta of Overwatch, back when you could have just a fully filled team of divas or whatever. And I had a really bad computer, so I figured splash damage and doing basic math of arcing, you know, the ball or the bomb or whatever
Hmm.
was the best way for me to aim because my computer could not go above 15 FPS.
Oof.
So, oh, I wasn't using a graphics card. I had a video card. I had a GT 630.
Oof.
Okay. And yeah, it was a struggle. And that computer was not a gaming PC. But I played and I had fun. And this person got so mad that I kept killing them as a Junkrat that they said, "You fucking trash mouse." And I just typed back in chat, "I love that, BRB." And I left the game. I changed my name on Battle.net and I went back in. And because it was the closed beta, there was only so many matches. I ended up in that exact same match. I saw his username and I said, "Guess who's back?" And they said, "No fucking way." And that's where Trash Mouse came from. And I have the underscores because normal Trash Mouse was already taken on everything. And I was like, oh man. But yeah,
Well, there
that's
you
why I ended up with
go.
my
You
roots.
you are one of the unique individuals who actually has a coherent story from where their name came from. Uh,
Oh yeah, man, I am actually an ancient fox spirit. I'm from World War II, and I know like I don't judge people's lore.
Oh, no, 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 no.
It's just everyone has like a unique thing, but they just try to sound Japanese, and I'm like, I know a lot about Japanese culture. I don't know anything about the language.
Hey,
So
hey, I
other
resemble
than
that remark. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
I mean, I'm just saying. No. So I'm just like, to me, that's not me, right? Like, I respect the culture, especially the religious aspects and
Of
whatnot,
course.
and their sense of community. So obviously, I study religion and whatnot, and
Yep.
I'm very much so I want to go live in the woods kind of guy.
Mm.
So yeah, ironic that I do all the technology stuff, but it was I don't know, I just didn't feel for me it would fit. So I was like, you know what? I got called a trash mouse, and it just stuck.
It's funny that you say that. It seems to me as though the tech geeks are all looking to live in the woods at some capacity.
Oh my god,
Am
you
I
don't
the
even.
only one that know? Because it's like you hear about like all the tech moguls, and they don't let their children anywhere near a computer.
Well, it's because we've been there. We're the reason it's so bad.
Oh
Yeah, my
boy.
plan is to go live in the woods, dude.
Yep.
Like, I've already got like the idea planned out. I already know how to do. Like, I've worked in the trades my entire life.
Mm.
So, well, actually, I've worked in every career field pretty much, except for as a medical professional, a professional musician, or in I guess medical for pets as well.
Mm.
But I I know how to build a house from the ground up, except for plumbing. And even then, if I'm gonna build a cabin, I'm just digging a big hole and building a box around it, calling it an outhouse.
Mm.
So.
I've always been curious what actually happens in the outhouse scenario, but you know what? I don't think I want to know that badly.
I could
Anyway,
explain it. They
well, no,
stink because people pee and poop in the same spot.
well,
You
no,
have to
no,
have
no,
two
no. I'm
holes.
just like, people did that for so long, but they didn't have a proper septic system that had all of the microbes and so on and so forth going on in there. Did it just? I obviously it stinks, but did they have to just
No,
pick up the house?
no, no,
Oh,
no. Oh, okay. So I'll give it like spark noted pretty much. Okay, you dig one really big hole. That's where Dookie goes. All right.
yeah.
You put down like leaf litter and like sawdust and like sand in the bottom of that first before you start using it. And then when you drop the Dookie, you just put in some like raw leaves and sawdust or something like that because it's called uh human compost pretty much
Ah.
because it's the urine and the ammonia in it that causes it to stink. So if you have a separate line that goes away from it, so if you just pee outside on a tree, or you have like a divider in it, then it goes to a different hole, and then it'll just absorb into the earth instead of absorbing with everything else and becoming a pool. It won't stink as much.
I'm
So
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. You watch an awful lot of YouTube DIY, don't you?
that and I built a lot of things. I come
Nice.
from I'm one of six or technically now seven brothers because we have another adopted brother. Um, and all of us work in the trades in some degree. So we've just built everything. My dad was a handyman. I was working on a car since I was like 3 years old.
Well,
So
I have bad news for you. I'm one of those people that you hate. I'm a civil engineer by trade. Uh,
I won't listen to you then. I'll just build it my way.
eh. Anyway, uh, what was the process for creating your character?
So initially I accidentally made Inuyasha. The long hair, the kind of cute face, grumpy look to him, and it was long white hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always liked two-toned hair. The girl I was seeing at the time, she always had her hair different colors and stuff, but the way that she got with me back when we were in high school is I had white hair.
Yep.
And I've just always loved white hair, whether it be like like Inuyasha, Sesshomaru, stuff like that. Even like with modern anime such as like Gojo, like there's characters you see the white hair, I'm like, that's a pretty boy, I like him. And so I went with like the white hair for that regard, but I also have naturally dark brown that changes to black hair depending on the time of year. um, so I wanted to mix those together because I used to dye my hair a lot.
Hmm.
And in real life, I wear a lot of like goth clothing, punk, alternative, like all like the alt clothes pretty much, right? Like I've
Mm-hmm.
got my alternative look and everything too.
Nice.
So I wanted to go with that. And then the modern design is like I wanted to make the hair shorter, um, just rather than having super long hair because you couldn't really see it all on the model. So I was like, it's not really worth putting into the design when I'm using a Vroid.
Hmm.
And like the face marks are kind of similar to again Inuyasha during the first movie, I believe, when he has the cursed sword.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really like the cyberpunk design. The necklace is a necklace I have in real life, and I really wanted to have like a kind of like computer biotic kind of eye type thing. So that's what the pink eye is, and then well, I don't have pink eye, but the pink eye,
Yeah, no, I
and
understand.
the yeah, and then like the blue one that's there, that's just me making random designs because I do those for like my Ko-fi. So I was like, I just like to show them off.
Nice. What made you want to be a VTuber?
Oh boy. I mentioned this to you before we started the interview.
Yeah.
I used to work in various different fields,
Mm-hmm.
as I just said, and one of those fields was adult film.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Project Melody and went, there isn't a guy version yet. I was already on that website, and that was the initial plan. And then I just never ended up doing it, but I already made the design and I loved it. And the girl, again, that same girl that I was seeing before, she was an artist and she already made the design. I'm like, I love it. I'm going to make this in Vroid. And my first Vroid looked terrible. And my one friend, Velifexine, she was just like, I'm fixing this. Like, she joined my stream. She's like, he's gonna be big. He just needs a better model because it looks so bad. So she learned the program and made me my first version of this model. And I would say it's probably only like 5% her design left anymore because I don't know how to do the skin texture too well. Like, the arm is still her. So, but I've changed it up so much over the years that you know how it goes. So yeah.
So the model is like still evolving, you might say.
Constantly, like I've already got like 5 different versions of this same one with like different clothes, different eyes, different hair. I chose the male one because, you know, rather than using the female models and confusing people, which I do occasionally because I amateur voice actor as well. I just dip my toes in everything. I like to have fun. I don't know what you don't know what you're gonna do in life unless you've tried it.
Of course.
Know? So
I knew what I was gonna do when I was about 6 years old.
Well, I thought I was going to be a rock star, and then I tore my vocal folds, and that's why you can hear the kind of vibration of my voice. So I was like, well, I got to change that up.
But anyway, do you have any lore for your character?
I can summarize it. I do have what is that name of that website? Is it VTuber or something like that, where you can write down all your lore? Yeah. I'll just paraphrase it because it's very dumb. But my idea is I'm a glitch demon, all right? And the demons were able to take on the aspects of things. And I decided to take on the aspect of kind of like a mouse, right? Because even though my design, like my name is Trash Mouse, right? But my design is based off the African spectacled dormouse, which isn't a mouse. But it's very cute and he's fluffy and he's white and black. So I wanted to be him. And so I took on the aspect of a mouse, but the idea initially was I chose trash because the stupid lore that I made up, all right, which isn't real lore with most other people's thing, is like the more that people fear things, the stronger that demon would be, right? So being a glitch demon, I took on the aspect of trash because people are like terrified of clutter, their house being filled with garbage, you know, ending up in the sewer, like all these different things have to do with like gross, right? So I chose trash, but unfortunately made my intelligence very low. So it's an excuse for why I'm so stupid. And when I chose mouse, I meant to use like a computer mouse and I was going to be able to control things, but I couldn't figure out the difference between a mouse and a mouse. So I became a mouse. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's pretty much all it was.
So what's your favorite accomplishment of your channel so far?
Oh, probably this is going to sound so lame, but it's the friends I've made. Like I don't know where I would be right now if it wasn't for like the friends that I made from playing VR chat back in the day, just from streaming. Like I do, like we call it spoopy night, right? Because again, I'm into the paranormal, so we watch like ghost videos usually on the weekend with my community. But it's usually like my main few friends end up showing up, like my buddy Geki, my friend BB, my friend Banana shows up every once in a while, my buddy Show shows up every once in a while, right? Like there's Masada shows up. Like we've got like we just hang out, and if it wasn't for VTubing, I would never have met these guys. So they are some of my closest friends, and I would love to visit them one day.
So you might say that the real VTuber was the friends we made along the way.
I don't think I want to put those words in my mouth, but we can agree on that one. Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll cut that out. No.
It's all good.
No. So. It is one thing that I have noticed about VTubing is that, you know, every once in a while something comes out and everyone's like, this is outrageous, the VTubing community is so toxic. I have seen none of that in my time doing this. And I've
Well,
interviewed like a whole bunch of people. I've seen no toxic behavior from any of the people that I've interviewed personally.
well, it sounds like you're really good at picking people.
I pick people entirely at random.
Well, then you should go buy a lottery ticket, buddy. Uh, because I've seen so much. I think it's more just people. Okay, I want to phrase this in a way that isn't inappropriate,
Yes.
because the way that I would say it is how I would say it to my brothers. And again, I have 6 brothers.
Mm.
So, yeah, and I'm the smallest. I'm not the youngest, I'm just the smallest. So I'm the one that gets picked on. So, you got
Gotcha.
to jab back.
Mm.
So, but I grew up being told that sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Mm.
And I think nowadays people let words hurt them because they care too much about this issue or that issue when really they're really big non-issues. Like, you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. I don't care what you identify as, what you look like, how you act to other people. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. And I've got a few people in my community that people have warned me about. They're like, hey, this dude is very problematic because he does this. I'm like, well, I haven't seen that. I want to form my own opinion.
Yeah.
And it's oftentimes like, I don't want to like put anyone down with it, obviously, right? But I
Of
think
course.
it's oftentimes people just don't understand when someone might have something like autism or just a lack of social skills because like they were
Yes.
homeschooled or they were just bullied growing up, so they don't know how to act correctly. And I was always the kid growing up that I hung out with the weird kids because to me, they were just genuinely them.
Mm.
And they weren't trying to join into being the popular kids or the sporty kids or the goth kids or the nerds. They were just them. And they were just being themselves. Like, we called ourselves the misfits growing up, and I would like to pretend that in real life I'm a stereotypical looking, attractive look, like I'm pretty average, but like I've got like the jawline that people seem to like.
Mm.
And I never cared about that. Like, if you're considered like a 0 out of 10 or you're a 10 out of 10, if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. And I
Yes.
think a lot of the time people nowadays just see it as, well, you are this made up whatever, or like you're identifying as this thing that doesn't exist, and then they cause problems with that. Or someone saying, well, you're not caring that I'm this thing that I claim to be, or you don't care about these people's rights. Or it's like, just because I didn't mention it does not mean I don't care. I'm just not informed enough to make a decision.
Yes.
And I think that's the main issue that a lot of people have is like, if you aren't with us, you're against us.
Mm.
And I've never been for that.
I think that one of the big problems is that a lot of people, they bring their preconceived notions about other people, and so right before you've even talked to them ever, they they already have all of these opinions about what you are supposed to be, and they bring all of that negative energy to you right out the gate, and it's difficult to work with that. And so that's one of the nice things about choosing people at random is that I have nothing to go off of. I have literally no preconceptions about what anything is supposed to be anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that 100% because like people they have again, we can't fault people for their experiences. Like if you've only had bad experiences with straight white males, right? You're going to assume that all are going to be like that. But is that really any different than like hating anyone of any particular like race or religion or something based off of your like your examples that you've had in your life, right? It's like, no, like every person is an individual, right? As a whole, humans suck, all right? Like, all we know is how to get angry at each other and start wars, right? And
Yeah.
whether that be a legitimate war with weapons or it's a attack on someone's character online or it's just destroying someone's reputation in a workplace, like all humans really know is some form of violence. And I like to look at it objectively as we're people and I'm going to look at you as an individual. As a group, I might not like everybody because there's no way that you're going to like everyone on this planet. There's going to be someone that wrongs you. There's going to be someone that says something about something that you enjoy that will give you a negative look on them. But at the end of the day, if you look at them as an individual, right, they might think a certain way because of a certain reason. And we need to look at each other more objectively rather than as a whole.
Yes. I
So I think that's
100%.
why there's so many issues with like drama and stuff because I don't know. I say words that people shouldn't say, right? And I make jokes that people shouldn't make. But that's usually with friends and the way I see it, it's a joke. I grew up like I'm a little bit older than a lot of people in the VTubing community because a lot of them are in like their late teens, early 20s and I'm rapidly approaching 30. But
I hate
I
to
don't
break
know.
this
I
to you,
grew
but
up getting bullied.
I'm even older than you are. I'm 32.
Oh, grandpa over here.
Yeah,
All right.
look at that.
No, but like you get it then. As like millennials, we grew up with like be home before the streetlights are on, right?
Hmm.
And like we were allowed to go out and do stuff, whereas like we didn't have technology. Like you clearly remember dial-up internet, right?
Hmm.
But kids nowadays are so used to having like a tablet in their hand, right? Or something like that, that they need the instant gratification. Like I used to just ride my bike around town wondering what I was gonna do that day.
Hmm.
Like I don't think they have that sense of adventure that allows them to get out that as an outlet for any aggression that they might have or worries that they might have. Because like all they do is instant gratification. It's notification here, notification there, funny video here, funny video there. Whereas us, it was like, I'm just bored. I'm wandering around. I wonder if Steve's home. And you just go and knock on his door, and then like you ended up doing dumb stuff like, climbing trees or whatever, or like maybe buildings. And like you threw stuff and you broke it, you're like, oh, we're in trouble, right? You throw a baseball, it goes through a window, and you're like, I'm so sorry. And then you have to go and like clean their yard for the next like 2 months just to make up for the cost, but kids aren't doing that anymore. So I think like they just grew up without having an outlet to express themselves, and the only way they know is the internet, and they just get mad at each other because they don't know to not do that.
It's kind of funny because I consider myself basically one of the first people to grow up on the internet. I didn't get outside. Whenever I was outside, I was forced outside because I just wanted to stay
Really?
inside all the time and play on the computer. I remember there was one summer I was totally me and basically my entire family was totally addicted to the game Roller Coaster Tycoon. We were
Oh, bro, I know. That was one of the
utterly
only games I played growing up.
utterly addicted, utterly, as in
Yep.
we were pulling each other off. My mother was trying to shoo us away so that she could play for an hour. Just
Oh god.
it was
Just so I could launch my little roller coaster into the neighboring park. That way their reviews go down because people died over there. Yeah.
but
No,
yeah, it
I grew up
was
as an outdoors kid because all the brothers, and our house is the community hangout anyways. So, video games were not super big for me growing up. Not until, well, there was a few games that I really enjoyed playing. Like I
yeah.
didn't get a PS2 until like I think like the Xbox 360 was already out, right? Like I
Mm,
got an NES when the N64 had already been out for a while, right? Like yeah, I think the PS1 was already out by that time.
mm,
Um, like everything that we had was like secondhand, but I also grew up really poor, right? So like it was stuff that like people were like, oh well, we upgraded from the PS1 to the PS2, and my dad was one of those type of people that really did not like getting money from people. He's like, I want to stand on my own 2 feet. It's like, yeah, but you helped me. This is me paying you. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm good. But if it was something for the kids, that's different. So if like they wanted to offer, say, like a video game console that they aren't using, he knew that we would like it.
mm.
So that was how we got a lot of stuff. Like obviously I played like the old Sega Genesis and whatnot, but I remember playing my Atari. All right. And I was born in the 90s and I had an Atari. Like it was the same one my dad had when he was a little bit younger. But
I
I don't
mean,
know, I was always an outdoor kid.
yeah. I only ever played on the PC. I didn't my first actual console was a Nintendo Wii, and I got that when I was in college. So it was it was PC everything. So it's kind of funny because people are like, the home by the time the streetlights turn on, and I'm like, no, I didn't have that experience. I'm from New Hampshire. I am the the nearest
Civil
civilization.
engineers. No.
The nearest civilization is a 20-minute drive. So the neighbors, I didn't talk to the neighbors as a kid. It was just, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we
We had
are
very different upbringings,
yes, we
but like
did.
that's what I'm saying though, is like I'm judging you as an individual based off of good rapport that we're having so far, right? Like I'm taking you at face value, and that's what I was talking about before, where people had the preconceived notion. If I knew all that growing up, I would have bullied the hell out of you.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But like,
Oh,
yeah,
bully
I,
you
I
you
bullied
you
the hell
talk
out of
about you
you.
talk about the weird kids. I'm weird kid ground zero. Uh,
I'm claiming you now.
oh boy. Anyway,
But yeah.
we are technically in the middle of an interview.
I mean, we're just building a friendship at this point. But yeah.
Absolutely. What's been the biggest change to your channel since you started VTubing?
Oh, well, I started off knowing that with YouTube, that was where you're supposed to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always tried doing educational content, and I wanted to be a teacher after I realized I couldn't be a rock star after messing up my voice. And I was like, yeah, I can be a teacher. And then I realized I swear way too much. So I was like, you know what would work? Educational YouTube videos. So I was showing people how to like become a VTuber for free, how to upgrade your model for free using stuff like oh my god, the name is escaping me. Um it's a shader thing. Whatever. Like I have videos on it, right? And I wanted to do like you just helping people out. I was showing like how to like change like your theme in OBS, like just the very basic stuff that makes your streams more you, right? And how to do things for free because hey, I'm broke too. I get it, you know? And I wanted to help people in that way. And then I realized that like I wasn't passionate about it. Like it was something I liked doing, but I didn't have like the love behind it that I knew I could, right? So I still do it on occasion, but I ended up swapping my VTubing to being more these are my life stories. And this anime or video game has a character that I can relate to, and this is the struggle that they went through, and this is why I relate to it. And I did very introspective videos, and I've only got a few of those out, but to me, I have so much more love for that, you know, so much more passion behind it because like I'm sharing my experience. And I feel like that was the biggest change for me with my VTubing was going from I'm going to help you to I want you to hear my story and hope that it helps, you know?
I totally get that. I'm curious. You wanted to be a rock star and then tried to become a teacher. Have you ever seen the anime GTO Great Teacher Onizuka?
I have not, but is that the one where the guy is constantly hating his life and the children keep reminding him of that?
No. It
Okay,
you know,
because I've seen clips of that.
it actually that's not a terrible summation of season two, but season
All right.
but season one is pretty good, and it's basically he starts out as the leader of a biker gang, uh, and then decides to become a teacher, and so he kind of teaches the kids in like a you know the rough and tumble sort of way, I guess you might say. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's okay. I like it.
All
Anyway,
right. Well, I'll get you to send me that later and I'll go check it out.
yeah. What do you hope to accomplish through your channel?
Uh, I'm not one of the people that says that my stream is a safe space because it's not. I will bully the hell out of you. So I just want to be entertaining. I want to make people laugh, and I want people to understand that, like, hey, yeah, if you need to talk, I am going to be here. But if you're wanting to talk about something that is very easily solvable and you're not doing the steps to solve it, I don't really care. So with my VTubing, I've always wanted to be, well, you know, like my mental health. Well, are you doing anything for it? No. Well, then maybe it's your fault. All right. Like I'm that kind of guy. I'm not a good person. All right. I try to be, but like I'm kind. I'm not nice.
Hold on.
All
Tell
right.
me if you've ever heard this one. You give advice to someone, and they say to everything you say, "I've tried that already."
Oh, assholes. Yeah. 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 I know what those are. Yeah. I've dealt with that a lot.
Makes me want to tear my hair out.
Oh my God. You don't even know. But yeah, I just want to have a space that people are able to come, hang out, make friends, and just laugh. Like I really don't care if you think of it's a safe space. It's like no, it's not. Like I'm going to bully you, and you're going to either like it or you're going to leave.
I
But
think
that's usually how it's gonna go.
you see, you say that, but when I think of what I would consider to be a safe space, you have one group where you're not allowed to say anything at all, or else they'll freak out at you. I don't consider that to be very safe. Meanwhile, if
Oh
you're
my
in a
God,
place where
right?
you can say literally anything and people will just laugh at you, you will actively make fun of someone and they'll just be like totally cool with it. I
That's called
consider
making friends,
yeah,
as opposed to backstabbing over little things and screenshotting every message. Yeah.
I trust people like that far more than I trust people who have to like audit every single word you say ever. Uh,
I consider myself rather transparent with stuff. Like, again, I have a lot of brothers. There's nothing anyone can say to me that I haven't already heard or said to myself like 3 inches from the mirror. All right.
yeah.
Like, my brothers can tear into me way harder than anyone online. And I think it's impossible to get cyberbullied because you can just block the person. And then, like, oh, what if they make another account? I don't know. Maybe go outside and touch grass, bro. like get off the internet for a bit. So like I'm not a safe spot for anyone like that. But at the same time, if you're dealing with something, yeah, I'll listen. But I need to clarify beforehand. Do you need advice or do you just want to vent?
Hmm.
Because if I give you advice, my autistic ass is going to give you the solution. And if you don't like it, then I'm going to think that you're stupid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Uh, so, uh, sorry, got
Yeah, I
sidetracked.
like to pretend I'm funny.
Yeah. Who's a VTuber you'd love to talk to, and do you have anything you'd like to ask them?
Oh boy. Uh should I out myself or should I try to make a friend? Hmm. That's the struggle right now that I'm having. Um
Go for it.
I don't know. Well, like I said earlier, like Project Melody was like the reason why I got into VTubing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because science team, right?
Yeah.
And I was already in that field at one point. I think it'd be really cool to just chat with her and see on how all of her stuff works. That'd be really cool. Obviously, I gotta love the other mouse. There's Iron Mouse. She's done so much for so many people, and I would just love to just have a conversation with her at one point. I don't know what I would say other than like you're really pretty, or at least you're monolith. I assume you are too. Um, but yeah, like there's
It's funny you
I don't
mentioned
know.
it's funny you mentioned Iron Mouse. I was actually at an anime convention recently. I was in Boston, and there was actually a Q&A panel with her. She,
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
yeah, she actually mentioned it on stream because there was one person who I think like cut the line or something and started, you know, making fun of her in the middle of this Q&A, and I was there, and I
What?
was like, what are you doing? At first, when she like was insulted, she called Iron Mouse ugly, and I was like, is this one of those things where it's because I don't know the fan base that well? Is this one of those things where it's like she's making an insult, but it's not really an insult, it's meant more in good humor?
From
Or
my experience, I don't think so.
yeah, no, this,
See, I'm the kind of person that likes to throw hands, though. Again, lots of brothers.
yeah,
So I'd be like, "Hey, yo, what you doing?" And I would be like, I'd just deal with it. But I'd probably
yeah,
get kicked out. But that's fine.
no,
I
but
will
this,
defend my waifu. I mean, what?
but afterwards it was very obvious that she was just there to insult Iron Mouse, and I was like, why the heck did you come to this panel? Just
Yes,
to
let's go and
insult
insult
someone
the person.
publicly?
Yeah, let's go and insult the person that raises hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not at this point millions of dollars, for charities that is also disabled. Yeah, you're definitely on a high horse right now. I hope that it's made out of wood and then you're put inside, but instead of them taking it inside the borders of their city, they set it on fire. All right, like I'm. Wait, what? I didn't say that.
it,
Wait, huh?
well, while I have you here, since you are a fan of Iron Mouse, is there a thing where like she calls herself trash, or her fans
I
call themselves trash or something?
so I'm not entirely sure. I'm not as like I haven't been keeping up with much in a very long time, right? She was
Okay.
just one of the first VTubers that I watched, her and Project Melody. Um, I know that she's friends with people that are on Trash Taste,
Hmm.
which is making fun of like certain like their bad takes on anime and stuff like that. I don't fully know though. I feel as oh I'm so sorry I just bumped my
Oh no,
microphone.
it's fine.
I feel as though it would be something that you make jokes about, right? Because
Yeah. Well,
fiery little
yes.
Latina, like she'll be like, "Hey, you call me trash," like stuff
Okay.
like that. Yeah,
I was
but
just
I don't
wondering
know.
if that was the thing because it came up in that thing. Anyway, who's a streamer or channel that you watch that nobody else watches?
Well, I know that a lot of people watch them, but everyone I go to talk to about them has no idea who they are. And that's ZFG1. He is a Ocarina of Time and occasionally Majora's Mask speedrunner. Mostly does randomizer lately. But I'm huge into Ocarina of Time. Like that is one of my main things on. Sorry, English is not great right now. That is one of like the main things I play on my channel is like Ocarina of Time randomizer,
Nice.
and yeah, I'm one of the weird YouTube frogs that likes to watch his streams when I go to bed because I just learn a bunch of new tricks and I learn different speedrunning routing. And I used to speedrun the game glitchless and stuff like that back in the day, and I wasn't good, I was nowhere near like the top percent, but it was like one of the few games I had as a kid, and I just played it a lot. So every time that I go to talk about ZFG, people are like, "Who is that?" I'm like, one of the biggest Ocarina of Time streamers ever." But all right, yeah. But yeah, he's one of my favorite streamers ever.
But nobody knows.
It's because no one cares about this game like me. I'm like, it has time travel. I like time travel. It has a little elf boy with an annoying fairy.
Mm.
It's my shit.
uh, so it's your ideal stream. Who are you inviting?
Oh, that's got to be the boys. That's got to be like my all my friends that I mentioned earlier. Like,
Nice.
have them all hang out. We used to play like Halo and stuff together.
Oh, cool.
Or just having them in for a chatting stream where we'll talk about like spooky stuff or whatever. I used to do like little like, all right, let's watch this creepy video and see what it might be, and we used to make fun of them and stuff because like it's very clearly someone that's using it. Literally, I picked out the exact costume that they were using from Amazon. You know, so like doing streams like that, just me and my friends having fun because like I do content to make people feel like they're part of like a friend group, not to be like, oh, we're in a community and we all act this way, right? It's like,
Mm.
no, like we're friends, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm friends with a lot of the people in my community.
of course.
So because like I'm very fortunate that I have a rather small following, right? Like if I were to like all of my platforms across all my different versions of content, whether it be like IRL and VTubing, I got like I think it's somewhere around 20 to 24,000 followers, right?
Hmm.
So not a whole lot when you look at how many accounts I've got, how many varying topics there is. But with like VTubing in general, I think it's somewhere around like I want to say 5 to 6,000 followers, and like a lot of the people that are in that community that are active parts of the community, I would say are actually like friends of mine at this point. You know, like
Hmm.
I'll hang out with them, I'll chat with them if they want to do something. I'm like, yeah, I've got time. Let's go do that, right? So like playing games with them off stream or anything like that. So yeah,
Uh,
I think my best stream would be with just having all my friends join me.
I love when people say I'm not a huge channel. I've got like 6,000 subscribers, and then I look at my channel and I've got something like 70. Uh,
Okay, but there's a difference. I've been doing content creation since I was like 10 years old, and I was making like little like Lego claymation essentially, even though it wasn't claymation, it was Lego. And I was just take one picture, move pieces, take another picture, and I used to do that in like Windows Movie Maker.
yep.
I've been working on doing this stuff since I was like 10 years old. And then I started my first YouTube channel. I want to say because I was just making those for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to say my first YouTube channel was oh boy. I might have been like 12 or 13 at the time.
Mm.
And I'm a little squeaker and we're gonna be playing blah blah blah. We're playing Oblivion, and I have like a really crappy camcorder facing the TV, and it was called Thoughts of the Oblivion Wanderer, by the way. I still remember it. It was terrible. Um, but I've been making content since I was like a kid, right? And now I'm almost 30. So I've got a bit of a head start, and I'm nowhere near as big as I probably could be if I was more active with it. But I always worked 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job until recent years. So I didn't really have time, but I was still trying. So like I've got a lot more in like time invested into it, you know? So like it's not fair to put yourself down like that and say you're only at
I'm not
so
putting
much.
myself
It's like
down. The fact is, I've only been doing this for a year, and it's not exactly. It's not like I'm going out and interviewing, well, Iron Mouse, for example. If I did that,
mhm.
then maybe there would be expectations to me. But this, I like this way because I don't want to interview like the career person who is like just looking for another excuse to like put their name out there or whatever. I like the idea of just talking to people.
You're aware this is my full-time job, right?
Oh, it is.
It is now, yeah, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I haven't streamed or anything in a little while, but yeah, this is the only thing I'm doing it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a full-time streamer for like 5 years,
Oh
and
wow.
then I picked up another job, and then I just kind of fell off because I was busy and exhausted by the end of the day, and I was working nonstop. So I just kind of, I'm getting back into it. I'm just waiting for this new setup that I've been making.
Nice.
But no, like I get that entirely. But you're also giving a voice to the smaller creators to
I
actually like say, "Hey, I did this interview. Not everyone has done an interview before."
well.
Again, I've been doing this for God knows how many years. I'm not good at math, but like this is my first interview like this, right?
Hmm.
So there's so many people that haven't been doing it as long as me, and they have less following than I do, right? Because they're just starting out, and you're giving them a voice, you're giving them an opportunity, and I think that's really respectable. So I wouldn't be saying that only at so many. It's like, no, like you're
Well, no,
doing
no, I
something that
don't.
others aren't.
I don't want to make it seem like that. The fact is that I'm grateful for everyone who's subscribed to me. I'm grateful for everyone that I've had the opportunity to talk to, and it's been a real pleasure being able to meet all the people. I don't do this for sub count. I do it because I want to try and refine my social interactions with people, because I am socially extremely inept. Uh,
I'm emotionally inept. I get it. It's all a facade.
yeah,
Yeah. But no,
but
I got a lot of respect for it. Like you're really good at interviewing. Like clearly, like we've already built the rapport here, man. Like I already see you as like a friend type thing. So
thanks.
you're good at it, even though you're sitting there like I don't know how. Yeah, you do. You got this. So
If we were talking in person, this would be going very differently. Let me tell you. Uh,
nah, I don't think so. I'm one of those type of people that most people can talk to, anyways. So
fair enough.
I got that guard dog energy, not attack dog.
So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to someone who wants to be an entertainer?
Um, just do it. If you have an idea, do it.
Hmm.
The main thing that is going to stop you is you. The only thing in your way is you. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if it's going to be terrible when you first make it. You won't get better if you don't practice. You fell off your bike the first time you tried riding it. No one was perfect to begin with.
Hmm.
Just keep making crappy videos until they're less crappy. And then when they're less crappy, try and make them good. And when they're good, start making them great. And when they're great, do your absolute best. Your best is not always going to be amazing, but your best is still your best. And it only gets better the more you work on it.
Very good, solid advice. Uh, what was your gateway anime, and what drew you to it?
Oh, Moncoli Nights. And it was because there was no one knows this anime. All
Mm-hmm.
right, it came on at like 5 o'clock in the morning on the Disney Channel. All right,
Really?
it made no sense because Disney didn't do any anime, but it's because at 5 o'clock in the morning, Disney wasn't the Disney Channel. It was a cartoon channel, I guess. And this is back in, oh god, I want to say 2000, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And Moncoli Nights had a lot of aspects that, again, this is all like remembering back in the day, right? I was very small. I was but a wee lad. But Moncoli Knights had, like, if I remember correctly, essentially Yu-Gi-Oh mixed with Gundam, mixed with Pokemon, and it was just so much. It was like flashing lights, lots of stuff going on, and then later on in the day, we'd watch YTV, which is a Canadian television station, and I believe there was Monster Rancher, so it
Mm-hmm.
was similar, but that one I saw with like my brothers and whatnot. We'd watch it, and my parents, because I was watching cartoons in the living room. But I'd always wake up super early because the one day I was just like, I'm up and I don't know why I'm awake. I'm gonna go downstairs and watch TV, which I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
allowed to do. Um, and I was like, I'm gonna go watch a Disney show, and I saw Moncoli Nights, and I got hooked. You're totally googling it right now, aren't you?
Oh, I did, and I
Yeah.
am I am pleased to announce that I spelt no part of that title correctly in my Google search.
Yeah, you know how hard it was for me to figure out the name of that anime? All right. Like I was like 13. I was like, what was the name of that? It was something Knights. I was like Mon something, but it wasn't Pokemon. And I was struggling for so many years to try and figure it out. But yeah, I've never watched the entire thing all the way through because I just saw whatever episodes were on TV back in the day. And I don't remember much about it other than there was two very small characters, and they used like cards and stuff and summoned things, and they got in like jet mech things, and I think it was like their uncle or something that was helping them out. But their designs are very reminiscent of like stuff that you see later on, and more like a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of look for the boy, and I think more like an Eureka 7 look to the girl, but I might be misremembering that. But that was the first anime I remember watching that got me into anime, and then getting into like the actual community of anime and all that was probably Inuyasha.
Gotcha. So, if you could go to an anime convention tomorrow, whom would you cosplay as? And in this scenario, I'll clarify. Cost is not a bar. No matter what you get, it looks great. You look great in it. Whatever.
Oh man. Okay, so I used to be a cosplayer. I stopped
Oh,
in
okay.
2017. Yeah, so I would probably, one I always wanted to do was like a full Halo version, or like a Spartan version of the Halo ODST armor. Not just the standard ODST armor, because that's just a soldier with like a cool helmet. Like
Yep.
I want the Spartan ODST armor. So preferably the one from like Halo 3-ish around then.
Okay.
So, but there are other versions, obviously, because anyone that knows a lot about Halo knows that there's like 8 different ODST helmets and different armor variants, and there's too much going on now, and then you have there's paywalls and no. But yeah, definitely, like I've always wanted a suit of Spartan armor, so I thought that'd be really cool.
I don't know what the armor you're referring to looks like, but I have played Halo, and that would still be pretty cool.
Okay, which Halos have you played?
I played the first one. It wasn't really my thing.
That's it. Yeah, it's because that's not a good game.
Yeah, I did try one of the later ones, but I forget which one it was. I played it in college for a brief time, and that was pretty fun. But the first Halo, I mean, the thing is that I understand that it was kind of breaking ground at the time, and that the thing had developed, but it was just sort of like one of those typical crawl things. Every single room looks pretty much exactly the same, and you just do
Yeah,
that
that's
for
Halo
like,
1.
yeah, you do that for like 3 hours, and I was just like, I'm not really enjoying this. Maybe I should go back and play some of the other games.
Well, did you ever get into Call of Duty?
I've played more Call of Duty than I have Halo. I'll say that much.
Okay, so there's a game called Halo 3 ODST. It takes place between Halo 2 and Halo 3. Technically, it takes place during Halo 2.
Okay.
But the ODSTs are orbital drop shock troopers. They aren't like the main super soldier. They're soldiers, all right? And they've got better armor, and they're better trained. That's about it. But you essentially play similar to Call of Duty, where like you die kind of quick, unless you're playing on like easy difficulty, obviously.
Yeah.
But like you aren't a super soldier. You will go down. And I always like that. Like the ODSTs, they aren't Spartans, but if they were any better, they would be. And that was why I've always liked the ODSTs. So that's why I want the Halo Spartan ODST armor, because one of the ODSTs from Halo 3 ODST becomes a Spartan in a newer version of the Spartans. I'm too much of a nerd about this, so it's one of my tism tickles.
There you go. So, which game did you have the most fun playing on stream? I feel like you've more or less answered this, but let's see.
It really depends on what you see as like fun. Like there's fun by yourself, and there's fun with your friends, right? Hey, like obviously play through the Halo franchise with my friends. That was really fun.
Yeah.
We did a lot of really dumb stuff in Infinite, even though it wasn't a great game. We had a lot of fun with that. But for the most part, I've played a lot of Ocarina of Time Randomizer, and to me, it's just a challenge. I've beaten that game over 500 times.
Wow.
And well, it's because randomizing it, right? Mind you, only 200 of those are randomized. But I also used to
you
speedrun
literally beat the entire game over 500 times.
Yes.
So if I was to
Before
go
I
in,
was
if I was to go in and play this game, it would probably take me somewhere in the realm of like 100 hours.
No, definitely not.
No?
If you know how to read, the game tells you where to go. And you could probably, with no experience in the game at all, you could probably beat it in, I'd say, 20 hours with some of the, like learning some of the puzzles and trying to figure out some of like the hints that they give you. Back before I started learning some glitches and started playing randomizer.
Yeah.
And I was really out of practice at one point, but I could beat the entire game glitchless, no exploits or anything, in around 5.5 hours, which is not a top number at all, right? And now I can beat the game in a randomizer, depending on the settings, probably within like 3 to 4 hours. So
kind of reminds me of like the 8th time I played Portal, and it was just like when you first play Portal, it takes a long time because you're figuring it out, and then a few times later you know exactly what you're doing, and it takes you sub 2 hours to beat it very easily.
Yeah, I've got thousands of hours in this game. Like the first time, it's funny because I was not good at it to begin with. Like I didn't leave the tutorial and had like over 100 hours in the game when I first played, because I didn't read the sign that literally said press A here to go through this hole and go grab a sword. But I was so excited when my friend came over on my 10th birthday and showed me that I could do that. And then I was like, oh, I got to read things. And I just read literally every single sign, talked to every single person. I did one thing and progressed the story, when did it all again to figure out where I needed to go. And yeah, and mind you, Digimon World 2003 also did that to me. So, because I didn't know what to do, and I just realized that you have to run back and forth and talk to literally everybody, which was another really fun game to play on stream. I actually played that not too long ago, and I did something I'd never done before, and that was collect an entire Digimon's every single evolution of, which I've never done before. I've never gotten every Digivolve. Yeah, I was gonna do the post game stuff, and then I was like, no, I don't want to invest this much more time. Like, you know how hard it was to get all these guys up to level 99. I'm not doing all these other extra Digimon that I haven't been using the entire game. I soloed Agumon, all right? Agumon got all 8 Digivolves. No one else is getting like any levels. I think everyone else is like level 6, all right? And I have to go and get all the rest of the Digimon, and I have to get them up to like level like 50. No, it's not happening. We're not doing post game. Forget it.
Okay. Do you have any games that you're looking forward to?
Honestly, no. There's maybe Elden Ring, like the whatever, the Night Rain, like, but a lot of games just don't interest me anymore because like Oblivion is a remake that just came out.
Yeah.
I would love that. I've always liked Oblivion more than Skyrim because Skyrim is literally just copying the entirety of Oblivion story, but swap out giant demon for dragons. It's beat for beat the exact same story. But like maybe Oblivion, but again, it's just a remake of a game that I already played, and again have hundreds of hours in. So,
well, how about this then? Are there any games that you've been meaning to play but haven't gotten around to yet?
oh boy, let me load up Steam. No. I know I've got my Steam library here. Let me just take a look at this real quick. I've been playing a little bit Near Replicant, but I haven't had the time to just sit down and replay it. I was having a lot of fun with that. I know that Baldur's Gate 3 is on the list of games that I would like to play, but I just never got around to it. I have it installed. I've just never played it. So that seems like something up my alley. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of modern gaming. Like, I like some games, but I'm not a very big fan of it at all. I'm sorry. Like, it's so many of the things are just... No, I'm sorry. I'm Canadian. We say I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
We don't actually mean sorry. Yeah, there's every once in a while there's a game that I'll see that I'm like, yeah, it's kind of neat. Like maybe like the Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero or whatever. Like I like Dragon Ball, so maybe something like that. But there's not too many games that I'm interested in getting nowadays.
Yeah. So
very much more retro gamer.
So this is the more random section of the interview questions. I call these, if you're familiar with movies, I call these the Voight-Kampff questions. So
okay.
Which do you prefer, Elvis or the Beatles?
Peanut butter and egg sandwich, man.
There you go.
Yeah, buddy. Also, like my grandmother loves the Beatles, and I listen to them way too much. Elvis is, yeah, sugar honey. You know, like I'm good with him. You know, he died on the shitter. He died how I want to go.
Yes.
So
I have maintained that would be the way that I'd want to go too.
Hey man, you know it was a hard one to go through, and he just gave up. Bro was trying, and just said, "Fuck it, we out."
What's a song that you can't help but dance to when you hear it?
I don't dance. I'm part native, but I'm mostly white. No, I can't dance.
Dude, you could dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
The Black Eyed Peas. What? Man, did you just quote Safety Dance?
Yes, I did.
It took a second. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, you said I can't dance. My immediate first thought was Phil Collins, but you know, I don't know. I love 80s music. I love 80s music.
I don't know. I'd say that a Black Eyed Peas Boom Boom Pow kind of gives a little jig to my step. You know, that's about it.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite chill out movie?
Oh man, chilling out movie? The Room.
Oh. Well played.
That is a movie to laugh with friends.
Well played. Have you ever been to a live showing
of The Room? I've made that showing. How could you do this to me? Oh, hi, Mark. Anyways,
I've been to two. I went to one in the Boston area, and I went to.
Oh, you talking about the new one?
What?
You're talking about the new one.
No, no, I'm talking
Okay.
about the old, because they show it in theaters all the time.
I didn't know that.
You
No,
did.
I had
You did it,
no.
dude.
I don't leave my house. I'm a
Dude,
hermit.
dude, you have got to make you've got to make a trip one of these days.
No, I don't want to go see that in public and see who's actually happy they're watching it.
Well, no,
That's
because the thing
that's a
is,
movie amongst movies. Yeah.
because the thing is that they show it and it's kind of got like a Rocky Horror vibe to it. People dress up. They bring, what they'll do is every time you see spoon related artwork on the screen, they'll all shout spoons and start throwing plastic spoons at the screen, and a lot of time, and still to
I need
this,
hand tracking. I need hand tracking. That was face to palm.
yeah, and what's more, Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero will still make public appearances at these showings. I gave Tommy Wiseau a high five once, and then I washed my hand immediately afterwards.
Okay, go ahead. I was gonna say, did you wash your hands? I wouldn't want to touch that man. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That woman didn't want to touch that man more than once. That's why there's only one scene that repeats.
yeah.
No, I've never seen a live viewing of that, and I don't think I want to.
I
Mind you, I've
will
never seen that in my town either. So
I will say, it was fun. I've done it twice. It was fun. What's something you've been meaning to do but haven't done yet?
get off my lazy ass and continue doing yard work.
Man.
I mean, what? No, I don't know. Like, it's making videos. Honestly, like, I'll just have like a spurt of passion, and I will just literally make like do about like an hour of recording on a video, and then I will cut that down to about 8 to 15 minutes and do all the editing. So it's just more of just getting the time to do that. But mind you,
Yes.
I just redid my entire office, so
Wow.
I haven't had time to be on my computer lately.
Oof.
Well, it's running now, as you can tell. Hopefully my microphone sounds okay, because this is my first test drive ever using this mic.
Your microphone sounds great. I don't get any background noise, and it catches the timbre of your voice.
Oh boy.
Oh
yeah, it's an actual really good professional mic. So
Oh.
it's my first time ever using a mixer in XLR. So
So what type of microphone is it, out of curiosity?
it is. Allow me to bring this up so I can actually read off the proper name, because I know I'm too dumb to remember the exact name of it.
Is it a Shure?
Nope, it is actually better than the Shure in every review I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes, even though it looks almost identical. So this is the Fine XLR USB podcast mic, the K688. I love Fine because I'm not gonna lie, they originally bought my support. They wanted me to do a review on one of their mics, and they'd give me the mic for free. And I was using a Rock Band microphone at the time, which, not gonna lie, still a really good fucking mic. Those PS2 Rock Band mics are actually really good. So if you guys need one, grab one of those. They got like a 10-foot cord. It's great. But I was using one of those, and then they sent me the K683, I think it was, or K683A, and I did a review on that. Not gonna lie, I just kind of copied someone else what they said, and I was like, all right, I don't know enough about this. But yeah, this microphone in Canadian dollars right now, which isn't real money, it's Monopoly money, is $87.98 right now, which would have been good to have bought this now as opposed to a month ago when I bought it for $120. But it's actually a really good microphone from what I've seen, and it's in every review that I've ever watched where they get you to do the blind test on listening to the microphones, it always sounds better than the Shure SM7B, and they always say, yeah, this is better than the Shure SM7B. And you don't need a cloud lifter, you don't need all this stuff. I also got the Fine CS3 mixer, just because I wanted to try it and see what it was like, and I can do little like voice changey things. I don't know how they all work, so I'm not going to use that well in an interview, but I can just press a button until it does weird things.
There you go.
Yeah. Really good mic, pretty cheap. I think that's roughly around $60-$70 American.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
it's actually really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna show how basic I am. I'm on a Blue Yeti right now.
Why does everyone get a Yeti? Just get a Snowball. They sound better. Yetis are so bad.
No.
Yeah.
Yetis sound better.
You can hear the
than
vibration in the
Snowball.
back of the microphone. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because it picks everything up, that doesn't mean that it's better. It's just it's omnidirectional. You don't have any.
And the snowball you can make unidirectional.
No, you can't.
Yes, you
Can
can. It
you?
has 3 switches on the back of it. I know. I had a green snowball for the longest time. I hated the Yeti because the Yeti, you can literally hear the vibration of the voice vibrating in the back of the microphone.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm honestly I'm considering getting another microphone soon because I have
I
to.
would recommend getting this one in the mixer, and if you need help, I'll help you set it up. I mean, this is my dry run, and it seems to be working, so.
There you go.
And it's a good mic.
I will take your word for it. No,
It's cheaper than a Yeti.
fair enough. Oh, I should. I did get some. I did do some research on how to record nature audio, though. I got one of those. Was it those?
Parabolic microphones?
No, it's. I got a dual microphone. It's what's it called? It's I forget the name of it, but they're these tiny little mics, and they worked really really well, and it's got
like the one for like the 2 ears type one.
Well, and you know what? I'll show you a picture of my
Bidirectional?
setup after the interview. I'll show you a picture of my setup because this
Okay.
is pretty cool. It's I did some work on this thing, but anyway.
Okay.
Would you ever talk to a stranger unprompted in a public setting?
Bro, I do that all the time.
I had a feeling.
I'm not an extrovert, believe it or not.
Hmm.
I'm just a workplace chameleon, and I always had like 3 jobs at any given time, 2 full-time and a part-time. So I could fit in literally anywhere. Like I've worked in, think of a field I've probably worked in unless it's medical or music. So like whether it be like the trades, whether it be retail, food, adult film, all that type of stuff. So I got really good at talking to people, and I've just never had an issue talking with people. Now, yes, during the daytime, I'm 100% an introvert, but during nighttime, I'm an extrovert. So I don't know if that really counts as ambivert or not, but I have no issues talking to people. It can be draining, but I'm, again, very like chameleon-like in that regard, that I can talk to just about everyone, and everyone seems to, for some reason, feel safe around me. And I'm like, you're aware that I wear like my weight in chains and leather jackets and like ripped jeans and combat boots, right? And I have a bunch of piercings and long hair, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. They're like, I feel safe around you because I feel like you'll stab somebody for me. I'm like, probably. I mean, I have like 3 knives on me at any given time, so probably. And they're like, yeah, so I'm good with you. So like, I'm really good at talking to people and making them feel comfy, I guess.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have no issues talking to strangers. Especially if there's something dumb that just happened in front of us, and I go, "You just fucking see that?" They're like, "Yeah, I just saw that." I was like, "All right, cool." You know.
Out of curiosity, how would you distinguish between an introvert and an extrovert?
It really depends on the amount of dream that you get from a person or a situation. Sorry, not a person. So for me, during the daytime, if the sun is up, being around people is just, it's a lot, right? Like my battery is draining. I don't got the energy to do this. I can work through it. I can push myself to do it, right? Because I know how to be an extrovert as well. Because at nighttime, you see a lot less people, and generally the people that you meet are going to be a little bit more on the weird side, shall we say? And you want to befriend the weird ones at nighttime if they're gonna, be weird around you, right? Because I went for a walk recently with a buddy, and we almost got jumped by 2 guys, and then not even like an hour later, we saw some dude punch through a house window, right? So those are the kind of people that you'd rather be on good terms with. So if you're able to like diffuse the situation with talking, and being able to like, hey, like we're best friends immediately, right? Whereas an introvert is more of it's not shy, right? Because a lot of people miss that. Like an introvert is not shy.
Yeah.
They find it draining to be social, right?
Yes.
So to me, it being social during the daytime, it's like, yeah, I can do it, but it's just a lot sometimes. Where it's like there's a lot of people. I don't like being in crowds. I'm also the kind of person that, again, lots of brothers. If you try me, I just go to, well, my brothers could beat me up. I mean, I could probably beat you up because they're bigger than you, and I'll put up a good fight. So, and I don't really come from like the best neighborhoods, so. Easiest way to put it, I grew up in a not so good area, and my current area that I live in, I spent my entire life avoiding this end of town, and now I live over here. So I have no issues with that kind of thing, but I generally try to be kind. I would never say I'm nice, but I try to be kind, and there's a very big difference between those.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that there's a difference between kind and nice. But yeah, I don't know. To me, an introvert isn't shy. It's just someone that they find it draining to be around a bunch of people, except for their people. And then an extrovert, they find it draining to not be around people.
Hmm.
And then they're just like, oh, that's social interaction. I get to bounce around. I'm a butterfly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really the difference between a caterpillar and a butterfly.
Hmm.
Solitary versus fluttering.
Hmm. So, excuse me. Uh,
I said a lot of words to say nothing.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, which do you prefer, chess or poker?
Boy, I like using my brain, but I also hate using my brain. And I can count cards, and I like money. Oh no. I think it's situational. If I'm like just casually playing, definitely chess. Um, if I'm gonna be betting, then probably poker, because if I do betting on chess, then I'm gonna think too much, and then I'll end up messing up and losing the money. With poker, I just go, okay, he's got this many cards, there's this, blah blah blah. All right, cool. So I fold or I fucking play. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
So I think it's situational.
hmm. Have you ever been convinced to buy something from a commercial?
Oh boy. Do like ads on like the internet count, or like commercials on TV? Because I've
Absolutely,
always wanted a
everything
fucking
counts.
chia pet. Chia. Uh,
Oh
you
boy.
you can't tell me you didn't want the Bulbasaur one. All right.
No, no, no. I did. I actually got a chia pet once, but the thing is that I was more literal as a child, so I actually got a tree. I had a tree.
I
chia
got a
pet.
tree.
I got a tree. I like
Bro.
turtles.
Am I not turtly enough for the turtle club? Turtle.
That's like
You
the
know,
third time that movie's come up for me in the last month, and I have no idea why.
it's just hiding in disguise. You gotta
Oh,
watch it. That's all it is. That's what it is, man. I saw that at a drive-in for the first and only time I've seen it in my entire life, and I remember that scene vividly.
oh yes.
Um, I think it's hilarious that the Twin Towers went down during that time, and they had a moment of silence while he was in the turtle outfit. That's a real fact. You can look it up.
Wow.
Yep, they had a moment of silence of him in the turtle suit. Anyways, what was the question? The commercial?
Yeah. Have you ever been
You buy
convinced to
something?
buy something from a commercial? And it can be
I'm not
online.
gonna
It can be
lie.
anything.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yes.
Well,
If you don't want to say it, it's okay.
Timu pops up a lot.
Mm.
And I'll see something, but those are targeted ads, so I don't know if those really count, because that's something that I've probably already discussed saying that I wanted.
Yeah, you say it out
So
loud, and then your phone hears you, and then you
yeah,
see
Big
an ad
Brother
for
was
it.
listening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, I definitely didn't need those waifu stickers, where they definitely weren't fully clothed, but like,
Yep,
it was there, and I had the money.
of
So
course.
no, it's definitely knives. I'm literally playing with two super sharp knives right now while
Oh,
talking. Yeah, I'll show you them after. They're actually really dope,
okay.
and they are beyond razor sharp. Um, yeah, I've definitely bought stuff. It's probably gonna be like knives that popped up on like AliExpress or Temu or Amazon or something like that, because I have a knife collection. Because we can't own guns here. Well, okay, we could, but I mean, it's a lot more of a pain in the ass, and
Hey,
I don't have a hunting license, so I can't go get a rifle. But
all I'm gonna say is America, baby, America.
hey, I want to move to Texas, man. All my friends live in Texas, bro.
It's funny. So many people I know live in Texas. I don't know. I don't know why. They're
Are they
the
content creators?
uh, kind of. They're
If you're
internet
content
people.
creator.
Let's call it. They're
Okay,
they're
yeah,
internet
taxes are way better.
nomads. Let's call them.
Okay, yeah, if you have a career online, the taxes in Texas are amazing if you're a content creator, because you pretty much don't get taxed. So it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. But
Pretty
there's also
good.
just avoid Austin and Houston. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Just don't go there. They stinky. There's bad people that pretty much the Californians that live there pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
just no, don't go there. That's what I've heard at least. All right, I've never left Ontario, but my province is bigger than most countries.
No,
Because people are like, oh, Texas is so big. I'm like, Texas is tiny. That is smaller than my province. Our smallest province is damn near as big, I swear.
I
Not really.
wouldn't worry too much. It's pretty well established at this point that California is actively trying to destroy Texas.
I've realized this. All my friends are like, I cannot wait to shoot them. And I'm like, yes, let them come onto your property, shoot them like dogs. Put down old Sally. I mean, what?
Oh boy.
I mean,
So, where would you
America.
where would you kidnap your friend? Oh, sorry. Where would your
What?
friends kidnap
What?
you to?
Well, I'm kidnapping people now.
Where
Or
would
my
your
friends
friends
kidnap me
kidnap
too?
you to? Yeah.
Fucking Texas.
There you go.
Almost that's where all my friends live. Either that or Australia, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
Hmm.
I like to fight things. And there's kangaroos there. And I don't think I could take a kangaroo, but I know damn well I want to throw one in a headlock. So
Hmm.
I've already put a deer on a headlock. So what's the difference between a deer on 2 legs or 4 legs? You know?
Hmm.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Hey, what's
Yeah, no, I don't want to go to Australia. I would love to visit. I don't want to stay.
yeah.
Their folklore, again, going back to the spooky scary, their folklore and their spirits type stuff. Oh hell no, that's like that's like our Native American stuff turned up to 11. I'm not doing any of that, but I
I,
might.
I love seeing the meme occasionally of like European cryptids versus American cryptids. You ever see that one?
Oh, probably.
And it's like the European cryptid is just like a gnome and everybody's happy and we're gonna celebrate. Then the American cryptid is like the what do you call the thing with the deer skull?
That's a Wachuge.
Yeah,
Everyone calls it the Wendigo, but that's a Wachuge.
I have
That's
heard
of the
that
Dene people of the West Coast.
I
Yeah,
have
the
heard
Wendigo
people get
is.
very angry at calling that thing a Wendigo. Uh,
Yeah, because there's only one depiction. Again, this is gonna be my tism tingling again.
yep.
There's only one depiction of. I hate saying the word, by the way, because I live by the woods, but it's daytime. It's fine. I call it the Wended Nope. All right, because nope. But yeah, pretty much the Wendigo only has one depiction of it having deer antlers, and that is from I believe one of the bands that is in Saskatchewan, but I could be wrong. It might be Manitoba. Um, but yeah, it's the Dene people that have the Washuge, and the Washuge has the giant animal skulls, because it is someone that was taken over by the spirit of a great animal spirit. Um, and it's oftentimes the same reasoning, whether it be like greed or pride. It's pretty much like not really like the 7 deadly sins, but it's like you weren't a good person, and this thing took advantage of that. And then the Wendanope is just there's 3 different versions. There's Wendigo psychosis, which is when people believe that they're becoming something crazy and they want to eat people, right? And it is a strictly Native American mental illness, and I think it's a cultural based thing. That's entirely why. There's the one where it is a cryptid, and there's one where it's a spirit. And again, this is my tism. I'm sorry. I
Go
can
for it.
stop if you would like. All right, cool. So like the cryptid is technically created by the spirit, and the spirit is just it's able to influence people, right? Most like anything, right? Like it's a supernatural being. It's able to interact with you like the same as like any other spirit or poltergeist, but like native spirits are a different frequency and stuff like that because they're more lower frequency as opposed to high frequency, which is more associates them with demons, but they aren't really demons because if you were to look at it, like angels would be the more bad guys when you really look at things. I mean, but now that's getting into theology, and you know that's more issues. Again, tism tickling right now. But like the Wendanope is just a tall, gaunt, white humanoid creature, and they're more akin to like a pale crawler than they are to an animal spirit. But again, only one of them has like antlers, and even then, it still looks like a human. And again, that's super rare that that's even discussed because that's only one band that has it. Not even a full tribe, just one band of a tribe. So, but yeah, the one with the deer skull is the Washuge, and the Washuge is from the Dene people, also known as the Athabascan peoples of the West Coast, of which, ironically, which goes into my Bigfoot thing I was talking about earlier. The Dene people, the way that we're able to identify migrations of Native Americans is based off of languages and the similarities between certain ones. And the Navajo people are Dene. The Navajo are the ones that have the Skinwalker. Yeah. And if you look at the entire travel route that they would have had to take from the Athabascan area, which is the Dene tribe again, which crossed the Bering Land Bridge somewhere around, I think it's 15 to 20,000 years ago, which was Alaska to Russia, which is where humanity would have gotten here from. If you were to follow the actual like transportation of all that on like their actual routes, you'll see that there's like the Pacific Northwest where you see a lot of Bigfoot and what would half bear, half human look like. Just saying, probably Bigfoot. And skinwalkers are able to be full human, full animal, or middle point between them. So, yeah. It's kind of neat. And then pale walkers are usually things that are cave related. And then if you were to look at that, well, where are the Wendigo mostly seen? Oh, in the cave-ish areas and like mountainous areas of, Canada for the most part, because, it's not really a American thing. It's more of a Canadian thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why I think pale crawlers and skinwalkers are unrelated to each other, but they share common areas such as forests and mountains. And one is more cave dwelling, whereas one's more like outside of or just out the cave or the cave mouth, whereas one's more like deep cave. And that would explain like the coloration, and then it also I'm talking way too much about this. I am sorry. I don't even remember the question. What was the question?
Chess or poker? No.
No, what? We're past that one. I remember that.
No. Let's see. Oh, where would your friends kidnap you to?
Oh, it was Texas.
Yeah,
Texas.
Texas.
Weren't we past that?
No. That's where we left.
Oh. Oh.
Anyway. No. It's fine. Okay. Don't worry. None of this none of this will make it to air. This whole thing is going away.
Even if it does, that'd be really funny. I don't mind. You could just upload the whole thing. I don't care.
I know. I'm only. I kid.
Okay. I'm being bullied.
What?
It's okay.
What's your favorite thing you've ever cooked yourself?
I made a mean beef minestrone with bacon in it back when I was in 11th grade, and I've never made anything quite that good since.
Is it the purpose of minestrone not to have meat in it?
What?
I thought that minestrone
That's the main component.
I thought that minestrone didn't have any meat in it.
Minestrone is like thick soup with beef. Google minestrone, bro.
Well, I'm looking right now. Ingredients: vegetable broth,
hearty beef minestrone soup, slow cooked beef minestrone soup recipe, beef minestrone soup.
Okay, they have something that's specifically called.
It was a beef minestrone.
Beef minestrone. What?
It's the main ingredient.
I'm not familiar with this. This is new to me. I thought
it's
that
really
it was
good. It's thick soup.
Okay.
It's good soup.
Okay.
I'm at soup.
Okay. I believe you. I believe
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
Now, on the other side.
Definitely one of the weirdest interviews, eh?
Yeah. On the other side, what's the worst thing you ever cooked yourself?
Oh, I don't know. I've always been good at cooking. Maybe Kraft dinner with this expired milk because I had no other milk. Oh, you're American. You don't know what Kraft dinner is. It's not Kraft mac and cheese. It is mac and cheese, but it's not Kraft mac and cheese. That's separate.
Is it the mac and cheese, but they have the packet inside, and the packet has the cheese?
No. There's Kraft mac and cheese, and there's Kraft dinner, of which looks very similar to Kraft mac and cheese, but it's not. Kraft dinner, if you ever have it, tastes way different. Because everyone's like, Kraft mac and cheese tastes like crap, and it does. But Kraft dinner, so good. That's Canadian. You got to try that. All right, I will ship you a box if you need it. All right.
Okay.
It's so good.
What's a place?
I don't know. I'm not bad at cooking.
What's a place you've been to that you want to return to someday?
So there's this town in northern Ontario called Englehart. All right, and this kind of goes back to what I was just tisming about a moment ago. Just east of that town is a road called Wendigo Lake Road, of which goes to Wendigo Lake, and I want to go check that out because I was in Englehart, and I was like, that's right next to it. I want to go there. So Englehart, and plus I want to move up north anyways. If I'm not going to move to Texas or, the plan is to move to Texas. If I don't move to Texas, I want to move up north and just have my own land. And, I was thinking north of Englehart, which is 9.5 hours away from where I live.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then I just want to buy, the one land I was looking at was 275 acres. It was $210,000. So pretty good pricing, honestly. And I was just going to find the closest local Native American tribe because I wanted to give them 1 acre border inwards on the entire thing. So I'm giving them probably 100 acres, but no big deal. And just like, hey, fish and game can't come on my land anymore because they'd have to go through Native American land and they're not allowed to. So, and and like the way I say it, I'm part Native, right? It might not be my tribe, band, whatever you want to call it, because there's just distinctions between those, not depiction, sorry. But to me, if you want to use my land, you're more than welcome to. This is like, yes, I am mixed breed, right? And I am part native, right? But I'm more identifiably white until I get my tan, right? I have the really long hair and I got the scrunchy eyebrows, like the grumpy look on my face, the big nose, the high cheekbones. Um, but if I'm not tanned, I just look white, right?
Yeah.
Because I got the blue eyes and the beard, because that comes from my the amount of mixed in that I am, right? Like I'm 1/8 native,
Gotcha.
or as I like to say, third generation Métis, but not French. Yeah, sounds a little bit better. But yeah, the way I'd see it is if you guys want to use my land, you're more than welcome to. Like it was originally your land, anyways. One sec, I got a cough. Joys of being a smoker. Yeah, right. So, but like you guys are more than welcome to use my land as much as you would like. If you're going to build anything on my land, please let me know. So if I'm ever out hunting, I don't accidentally shoot you. And you know, if you ever need a hand, let me know. And if I ever need a hand, I'd appreciate it. Right. And yeah, like I need to have land that has like running water on it. So that was the main thing. So if I were to ever visit anywhere, it'd be up north again. And I just want to build some cabins, maybe some adobe structures or whatever else would be better for that situation. Whether it be adobe or just quote unquote mud, whatever you want to call it, the type of mud that you use for it. But yeah, like I already know how to do all that. So I think it'd be really cool.
There you
And I really enjoyed being up there. The only issue is the grizzly bears, the polar bears, the moose, and the mountain lions. But no big deal. That's what guns are for.
So, you find $20 in the street. What do you buy with it?
I try and find the closest person, and I ask them if they've lost anything. And then if they're like, oh, I'm out $20, I'd be like, oh, here's $20. But I'm not going to say, hey, did you lose $20? Because they're going to say, yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I'll probably just put it in my pocket, give it to my parents if they need it. I don't know. I don't really spend money. Maybe like a candy bar or energy drinks, but yeah, that's about it.
Which board game have you played that would be most likely to cause brawl?
This is probably the exact same answer you've gotten every time you've asked this. Monopoly.
Monopoly, yep.
Yeah. It's either Monopoly or Risk, but I've never played Risk. Actually, no, I've gotten in a fist fight over battleships before. I'd probably say battleships.
Battleship?
Yeah, I did get it. I actually got in a fist fight over battleships. And then they realized I was right anyways. But they couldn't just back down now. So
I think I'm gonna get rid of that question because everyone keeps saying Monopoly.
yeah, but like, there's gonna be reasoning why they say Monopoly.
Well, yeah, but the thing is,
they'll have a story. Grandma, I know you're cheating.
Well, no, nobody ever has a story. They just say Monopoly, and that's it.
I told you though. I did say. I was like, it's probably the same one you always get.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I'm not blaming you. It's a bad question. That's the point.
It's a bad question. I mean, I gave a different answer technically. I went with that one as a joke. Yeah, I'd say either Risk or apparently for me, Battleship.
If you could wake up with one talent tomorrow, what would it be?
Oh boy, that is actually kind of a toughie. I'm not gonna lie. Not because I think I'm overly talented. It's just like what would actually be useful for me, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I'm already like an amateur voice actor. I can do goofy stuff, but that wouldn't be too helpful. I already know how to be productive. I just need to use my brain. I know how to do music. I just got a messed up voice, but I just use that to my advantage now. What would I use as a talent? What would be a good talent? I can already stick my tongue up my nose. I can cross my eyes. What would I do? I get really good at spinning handguns. I want to be like Ocelot.
Do you mean the thing where like you take the gun and you spin it around your finger and then stick it back in the holster, that kind of thing?
Yeah, like Ocelot from Metal Gear.
I never played Metal Gear.
Me either. I just know him.
Okay. If you could go back in time to any time and place, where would you go?
Is the same answer everyone always gives is kill baby Hitler?
No, nobody's ever given that one yet. I'm grateful that I've met someone who has their priorities in order.
Oh, I think I could kill a baby.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't go do that. I'd prevent him ever happening.
There you go. That's what that. See, everyone's always about the moral dilemma. Kill baby Hitler, but all you have to do is just get where his parents are doing the thing, and then just like I don't know, play some really annoying music.
Or just fuck his mom first.
Well, but then you give like then you're stuck with half Hitler.
No, it's nature over nurture type thing. No, I nurtured that motherfucker. He'd be way worse. No, he'd be way worse. No, you didn't get into art school. Oh no. No. We should probably cut that. But
No.
I don't care. Nah, it's fine. It's no big deal. I would say, if I could go back in time, I would want to go. Is it only one time that I can go back to?
What you mean, like?
Or is it the ability to travel back in time?
Go with that. The ability to travel back in time.
Oh man, I would go and like figure out all these different like crazy missing people situations and figure out what actually happened. Like a lot of the missing 411 type thing that David Paulides does. I think a lot of those are just they're pretty explainable, right? It's just him trying to make a story out of it because he's a Bigfoot believer. I believe in Bigfoot too, but like I would want to know what actually happened. So I think that like Dyatlov Pass, I think that's what it is, Dyatlov Pass, the one that's in Russia. I think it'd be really cool to see what actually happened there. Or like the dude that disappeared in, I think it was Buffalo. It sounds wrong. Maybe Colorado. I don't know. There's a dude. He was on a lake. He disappeared, and then he was found on the other side of the fucking country. And he was just like, "Where am I? Who am I? What happened?" So I think it'd be cool to just see what actually happened to missing people and be able to help.
I personally wouldn't do that, and I'll tell you why. Whatever happened to them, if I'm in the same room while it's happening, it may happen to me too.
Nah, you don't understand. I'm him. I'm built different. Nah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I was expecting myself to be like a Scrooge ghost type situation where I'm viewing it. But yeah, if I'm actually there, oh man, I'm gonna go stab Julius Caesar in the back too.
I mean, theoretically, today you could figure out what goes on in the Bermuda Triangle. It's just, do you want to go there?
Yeah, it's gas. It's literally just gas.
What?
There's methane. There's a methane deposit in the middle of it that occasionally creates giant bubbles, and then when there's methane in the air, it causes electromagnetic issues because there's too much methane, so that the waves don't go through it, and that's why they lose the tracking on their planes and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly just plane crashes and like boat crashes because their instruments stop working.
Well, there you go.
And then there's like a water imbalance because your boat's lighter than oxygen or heavier than oxygen and the water and whatnot, but there's actually a gap in the water now because there's methane, so it's actually changed different. So yeah. That's all it is.
There you go.
Yeah, that's super easy to explain. That's just science. Figuring out where eels come from, that's different. We don't know. All right, like they're all what the hell, but no, but yeah, you got a really good point. If whatever's happening there is going to happen to me too, yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that. I want to go see Yeshua of Nazareth. I want to go meet Jesus, and then he'll just stare at me and be like, "You're not supposed to be here," and I'll be like, "You shouldn't know English." Like, can I kill Jesus early?
So, do you collect anything?
I collect knives. I have a lot of knives. That and I do actually. It is a Damascus steel, hand forged blue wood, full tang buck knife that my buddy got for me for my birthday last year, and it looks really cool.
Now, is blue wood the species?
No, it is like stained wood. I don't know what type of wood it is, but it feels like it might be walnut.
Oh, okay.
But it's stained like this very vibrant blue, and it looks really cool.
Yeah. So sorry, I do.
I can send you pictures. Don't worry.
Okay. And my final question of the interview: what smell reminds you of home?
Oh, that's I don't really know. It's like a mixture of things, like there's definitely things that like remind you of like hanging out with your brothers, and there's things that remind you of your mom or your dad, right? So like if I were to smell like the old Export A green cigarettes, that's my dad, right? Like that he doesn't have those smokes anymore because they don't make them anymore. But if that smell definitely reminds me of my dad. A nice like we call them shit drops. I don't know what they actually are. They're like, I think they're like macarons or some shit. I don't know. It's like coconut and like chocolate and cocoa. It's really good. That smell reminds me of like, when my mom would do baking and stuff. And I think maybe just like a sprinkler off fresh cut grass reminds me of like playing in the backyard with my brothers. So those would be like what I consider home is my both parents and my brothers.
Nice. Well, that's all I have for this interview. Thank you very much for coming out today. I do appreciate it. I've had a blast. I've had an absolute blast.
We made a friend today, Kurt. Yay, let's go, Trash.
Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just special.
We're friends now.
Yeah.
So, if you're watching from the audience, thank you very much for joining us. You can find links to all of Trash Mouse's various socials in the description to this video. I'll also be posting them in side chat because side chat's more link friendly because YouTube is a whiny baby. And thank you again for coming out. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man.
And
I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie. Like this is I've never done an interview like this, and I had a really good time.
Awesome. Well, with that, I was your host, Jack Jinseki, and joining me today was Trash Mouse. Bye-bye, everybody.
Why?